So here's our agenda for today, folks. We are going to be talking together until about 7:30, so that's a couple of hours. We're going to start with an introductions, several layers of introductions. We'll start with our team, and then we'll talk to all of you. We're going to spend quite a bit of time on that today since we are just new to each other, and we will be meeting a few times, and we want to get acquainted. That's really important to us. Ryan will be giving us an overview of the plan and the project that we are here to talk about. And then I will talk about what this group is and what we're hoping this group will do, and the way that you all are being invited to be involved. And we really hope that we can co-create that together. And then also we'll do some group agreements at that point, which is just how we'll be together when we're in our meetings. And then we will take a formal 5-minute break somewhere in the middle. Everyone at that point will take a break, but please feel free throughout the call to take care of your needs as you need to. We will also have a section of the meeting after the break where we want to talk to you about some of our initial questions and feedback that we have that we'd like to hear from you about. And then the last few minutes, we'll talk about scheduling our future meetings beyond this one.
Okay. Jamie, do you mind if I add one more thing to that?
Go forth.
All right. So the purpose of our advisory committee is we intend to not just talk at you. We are here to bring information to you. We're here to have you participate and help us and help guide us through this project. So your input and your participation is really, really valuable. And we plan on making sure that every meeting is highly productive, and we don't want you to feel like it's just a waste of time. So I just wanted to put that out there before we get started here.
Great point. And to that end, folks, please use the chat as you have questions, or feel free to interrupt us and raise your hand. We will be talking at you for a little while today just to kind of set the stage, but throughout, please feel free to use the chat just for your ideas and your questions, and we will be able to have that as a way, just in case you don't feel like you want to talk or you aren't able to get your words in. Feel free to use that chat in all the meetings as well. Okay, so next slide, and that'll be for Ryan. Ryan's going to start us with a land acknowledgement.
Yeah, and again, this will be the one meeting where it's us chatting a lot. So the next meetings will be way more productive, I promise. So I would like to start out with a land acknowledgement. The Portland metro area, I will read it. I'd like to read that. The Portland metro area has been and continues to be the homelands of the Multnomah, Wasco, Cowlitz, Cathlamet, Clackamas, bands of Chinook, Tualatin, Kalapuya, Malala, and many other tribes since time immemorial. Today, I specifically want to honor the land known as Washington County and Clackamas County, since that's where I'm located, and its original inhabitants from time immemorial. The Tualatin Band of Kalapuya and the Clackamas, they have lived and prospered by maintaining strong cultural ties to the land and through wise management of resources. As with most of the tribes and bands of Western Oregon, disease epidemics brought by Euro-Americans devastated the populations of these peoples. Survivors were forcibly and inhumanely removed from their lands by early settlers. The Tualatin Band of the Kalapuya and Clackamas were signers of the Willamette Valley Treaty in 1855, which ceded their homelands to the United States in exchange for certain rights and benefits. They were subsequently removed from their homelands to the Grand Ronde Indian Reservation, where they became members of the Confederated Tribes of the Grand Ronde. Their descendants live on as tribal members today, carrying on the traditions and cultures of their ancestors, the original people of Washington County and Clackamas County, and continuing to care for and nourish the lands that nourish us all, with all due respect. Okay, Jamie.
Thank you, Ryan. Okay, Ping. You can go to the next one even. So this is very small, and you don't need to read this slide about our project team, but we will be emailing this presentation to you all after our talk today. So you'll be able to have this for your records. And this just has a full list of everyone that's on the City of Hillsboro's project team for the project. And so I'm Jamie, as I mentioned. I'm Jamie Stamberger, and I am a consultant. And I'm working in partnership with the City of Hillsboro. And my specialty is asking and listening to communities and writing reports and recommendations based on that work that I'll be bringing back to the city. So you'll be seeing me at these CAC meetings. And I'm also the one writing and managing the online survey that some of you have seen, hopefully, for the larger community. And I'll also be writing discussion group questions for the smaller community-specific groups that we'll tell you more about. Then I'll be taking all those results from the survey and the discussion groups and writing that up into a summary of findings and recommendations for the city from community members. So I'm part of the engagement team, which is on the right-hand side of this slide. And that's kind of the work I'll be doing. And I'll hand it off to Ping maybe just to say a little bit, Ping, about your role on the team.
Hi, yes, my name is Ping Paul. I'm the principal and the senior project manager for the SALS program. We will be in charge of the engagement work, recruiting people, the survey, and also getting facilitators to help with the different workshops. One of the things is we also have the liaisons who actually recruited some of you. So we're the agency that, work on most of the engagement work. Thank you.
Thanks, Ping. Okay, Ryan, you want to talk about your role on the team and maybe introduce your other City of Hillsboro peeps?
Yeah, so my name is Ryan Stee. I am the project manager on the Hillsboro Parks and Recreation System Plan. Kevin Hughes is part of our project team within Hillsboro, and then Deb Myhoff, who you'll hear from at the end. Kevin and Deb, you'll hear from at the end, is a partner consultant that has helped us design this project, and I'll explain what the design means as I go through the overview of the project. So this is my primary responsibility. I am the one that is in charge and responsible for making sure the community's voices are heard.
Awesome. Thank you, Ryan. So, and in that column in the middle, there's actually another consulting group called Not Studio that is involved in the project, that's doing a lot of the mapping work and using census data and creating, kind of putting everything together into the overall plan. And so there's a bunch of them. You will see them maybe coming in and out of future CAC meetings to present some of their work. So this is just for your reference to have for later.
And contact information. My phone number is there, and Jamie's, and we'll talk about that at the end. I will be at your disposal, so you can call me, and if you have questions, I'm here to really make sure that you're comfortable with the process and that you're being heard.
Great. All right, next slide, Ping, if you would. Okay, now we are going to get to hear from all of us and introduce ourselves. What we're going to ask is maybe we'll go around and we can call on you, or you can popcorn by calling on someone else maybe until we get to everybody. But what we'd like is for everybody to just say their name, your pronouns that you use, and if you feel comfortable telling us something about you or your identity. So such as it could be your family status or your heritage, or where your people hail from, or something about your identity if you want, or really anything that you want to say as you feel comfortable. And then we have our little icebreaker question, which is, what is one special skill that you have? So I will start. It's going to go me, and then Ryan, and then Ping, and then we'll call on everybody else. So I'm Jamie Stamberger, as I said, and I use she, her pronouns. And I already lost my own questions. Oh, Ping, you stopped presenting.
Sorry, because I want to record people here.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
Can you just copy and paste in the chat the questions we're trying to ask people?
Sure. No
So I identify as a white American person, and my people are from Northern Europe primarily. And something about me is that I am handy. So I can swing a hammer and I can use power tools, and I have a fair bit of experience doing Finnish carpentry work. So I will, thank you, Ping, hand it off to Ryan.
Yeah, my name is Ryan Stee. I am, my pronouns are he, him, his. I am the project manager for the city of Hillsboro. I just did more of my ancestry. I am of Norwegian and German descent, and there's some smattering of other things in there. I'm a 5th generation Oregonian. My family did come to Oregon in 1890 and were part of the settlers in Marion County area. I identify with the LGBTQ community and the neurodiverse community. My special skill is I'm kind of freakishly handy like Jamie, but probably not as good. But regarding this project, I've been doing park and recreation planning and being a civil servant, which I prefer to call steward of communities, for 22 years. I tend to push the envelope toward and be progressive, and always bring new ideas to projects that try to slowly break traditional ways of doing things. So that's my skill for the project. I'm gonna knock this over to Ping. Go ahead. Hi.
Hello, I'm Ping Paul, and I usually have pronouns. I'm from Malaysia. I've been here for 30-some years. Something about me, I like creative stuff, and I like to create things, and I love challenges. So one of many things that I do is create new dishes. I can kind of see what ingredients you gave me and then come up with new stuff. And unfortunately, people keep asking me for a recipe, and I don't have recipes. What's the one special skill that you have? I can paint really well. I'm really good at looking at shape colors and stuff. Thank you. Maybe I should popcorn it to AK.
Hi, everyone. My name is Annie Chris. I go by AK for short. My pronouns are she, her. I work for CELS as one of the project managers alongside Ping. I was born in the Philippines. I identify as Filipino American, have been living in Portland, Oregon for 30 years, and so on. Skills-wise, I say I'm a good listener, very patient. I have 2 little children, so I think I'm a great baker as well. Whenever I have spare time, I like to bake. I think I answered all the questions. I guess I will popcorn it over to, let's see, Alma.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I am Alma Vargas, and I use she, her, hers, ella pronouns. And I work in a non-profit agency. So I go to a lot of parks, like outreach events. And what we do is that we share information about social programs to the community. So I'm in a lot of parks. And I am very creative. And like, for example, I love decorating my house, like in Christmas or Thanksgiving. That's what I like to do. Thank you for having me.
Okay, how about Marco?
Yes, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Hi there. I hope I can be heard now. I think my
Yes.
microphone sounds perfect. My name is Marco Antonio. I use he, him pronouns. my people are mostly from Mexico City. I'm a father of four. Um, I've been a mechanic for a long time, but I'm kind of a jack of all trades in many aspects, and wherever I need to do, kind of. I also like to play guitar. I like the sort of metal genre of music,
Ooh.
and yeah, I work a lot. And thanks very much for having me.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. I can't see the rest of the list. Who else wants to go? David?
Actually, I'm trying.
Oh.
David is. I'm under my husband account.
I see. Okay. Trang,
Yeah,
hi.
my pronounce is she, her, hers. Came from Vietnam, and I have been living in the United States for almost 2 years. I'm living in Hillsboro, and I love that city. I had 10-year experience working in marketing communication in Vietnam, and now I'm studying master program in data science at PSU. Yeah, thank you for having me here.
Yeah, thank you, Trang. I can't see any other names. Ping or somebody, AK, can you call on someone?
There is a Deb Mayhoff.
Yeah, sure. Hi, Deb Myhoff. I am part of the team of planners and other consultants that are working with Ryan to help him on the city side build this plan. I don't live in Hillsboro. I do live in Portland. And I didn't grow up in Oregon. I grew up in Arizona and some other spots along the way, but moved here about 30 years ago and quite a strong Oregonian. Part of my heritage are German immigrants who came to Texas many years ago. And I bring that up because one of my special skills is specific to Texas Germans, which is smoking sausage and brisket on the grill. So lots of those skills have been passed down. My grandfather was a sausage maker and grocer and a mayor of a small town a long time ago. But lots of those recipes and that skill, I don't know if it's just in me or been passed down, but one or the other. Thank you for that. And let me find another name on the list here. How about Krishna?
Hi, I'm Krishna, pronounced as she, her. I was born in India. I've been here for over 37 years. I consider Oregon as my home now. I'm not really good at anything, but I can make a good chai. If anybody wants chai, I can make a good chai. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
How about, I can't see anybody. How about Diane?
Rachayim, Kadamaiga, Diane Smith, Naiga Yachol, Wasco, Chinook, Klamath, Klickitat, P. Malala, Naiga. Hello, greetings to everyone with high honors. I see you, I hear you, and I honor you for who you are. I am Malala, Chinook, Wasco, Klamath, and Klickitat. My pronouns are she or her, or hers. And one thing that I'm passionate about is the indigenous language, trade language, Chinook Wawa. That was kind of the lingua franca here amongst other indigenous tribes. If you're from another tribe and you want to communicate with somebody from another tribe and you didn't both speak the same language, Chinook Wawa was the language used intertribally as well as a trade language to work with people that came to settle the land. And I'm so passionate about it because my great grandmother, Esther Mary Jones Labonte, helped to give the language that she knew to some local ethnographers and through my tribe, the Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde, and a lot of work by Tony Johnson of Chinook Nation. the language we're in the process of revitalizing it. In fact, I think we're a couple steps. We actually have a class starting again in the fall of learning the language that's offered at Lane Community College. So I'm just happy to be a part of this community and learn more. I love walking. I live in Hillsboro. I love walking around the parks and speaking Chinook Wawa in the forest. And yeah, I'm really interested in reciprocity, giving back, not just so much taking what do we need, but also what can we give back and honor the first people who are here, as well as the community that is here now. So thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Diane. Thanks for sharing that. That's really exciting news. Yeah. Okay. There's someone whose name on here is CGH.
Yes, hey, good afternoon, or it's actually evening now. My name is Colleen. It's just my initial there.
Okay.
I am a he, him, and originally from the land of Dracula. I hope you guys can figure out where that is. It's in Eastern Europe.
Transylvania?
Yes, Transylvania is actually a region of Romania. That's the
Okay.
country name. But you're right, that's where Dracula is from. I did not inherit any of his skills, I guess. I don't know. You tell me. But I guess otherwise I would consider myself do-it-yourselfer, and I have a passion in trying everything at least once to do myself, including attending a CAC. So here I am.
Oh, thank you so much, Kaleem.
Sure, thank you.
Okay. How about, I'm just going down the list, so we're going in alphabetical order here. How about Lev?
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Lev. My pronouns are he or his, and I'm here in Hillsboro for a little more than a year. What else? So I'm a Python engineer. I'm very experienced in financial analysis as well, and that's it. I like going for a walk in parks. That's why I'm here. And thanks for having me here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. All right. How about Liza?
Yes, Sam. My name is Liza Kurilova. I'm from Russia. I'm 25 years old. I'm here almost 1 year. I love this country, this state, and this city. I like parks in Hillsboro and Beaverton. It's amazing. In, I've been eco activist and eco enthusiast in Russia, and I hope I'll help with that in Hillsborough too as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. How about Nazar? You are on mute if you're trying to talk to us right now. Okay, we'll come back. How about, we already did our team. How about, is Shan there?
Danielle?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Hi. My kids.
No problem.
It's okay.
Yes, that's why. Yes. My name is Shane and Yang, and pronounced she and hers. Yes, I'm a mother of twins right now, and they are 3. And I like to take them to park right now, so that's why I'm here today. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Thank you, Shane. And Tina?
Hi, my name is Tina. Pronoun he or she, and I originally came from Vietnam. I've been in Oregon for about 16, 17, around Hillsboro, Oregon, but now I'm residency at Hillsboro. I have two kids. One is turning 4, and one will be turning 1 on next Tuesday. Um, my specialty, I think it's just like being a mom will be my specialty. Taking them to the park and stuff. So that is a part of my my free time too. So thank you for having me.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
a full-time job.
right. It's a superpower.
Moms are superpowered.
And then I don't think Yasmin, we didn't introduce you yet, did we?
Yasmin?
Okay, we'll come back.
Yeah.
And Yuche, I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Hello. You can just call me Michael because the real pronunciation is a little bit tricky.
Okay, Michael.
Yeah, so I have been in Hillsboro for 3 years and I'm working at Intel as a semiconductor engineer. And I like to hike or running in the park area. So that's why I'm interested in this topic. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Michael.
Oh, I think Yasmin was ready to talk. So Yasmin, can you,
Yeah, that's my wife's name, not mine. Mine is Ziad Al-Dawi. Go by Z for easier pronunciation. And I'm he, his, him. I goes by that. And I work with the DHS office in Hillsboro as an HSS3. And I've been working with the customer service for a while, like for 5-6 years before that. And before that, I was working with the US Army in Iraq, which is my country. I served with them for like 10-11 years. And then I moved to the US because it was not safe to live there anymore. And I have 3 boys, thank God. The older one is 12 and the twins are 11. And what else? Hobbies, traveling, mostly. Yeah, and yep, that's all about me for now. Anything else I'm missing?
No, that's great.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Twins. Lots
Thanks.
of twins, I've noticed.
I know. What's with all the twins?
Yep, I guess so.
Awesome. And I feel like maybe we missed one person. Was it Nazar? Are you there? Well, hopefully we will hear from them later. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing a little bit about yourselves. We are a diverse and interesting group, and we're just so happy to get to know you a little bit as best we can over this internet thing. Maybe we'll have a party or something together eventually. Okay, so I'm going to hand it off to Ryan, who's just going to do, nice. I love the emojis on Google. I will say that is more fun than Zoom. I'm going to do a party emoji also. So I'll hand it over to Ryan. He's going to give us a little overview about what the project is. Ping, can you share the presentation again?
Yep.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
All right. Thank you all. It's so nice to hear about each of you, and I can't wait to get to know you more. And I do think a get together is definitely going to be in order. It sounds like there's going to be some good food too. So I'm going to go pretty quick here. We're going to learn a lot about this project as it goes along. Before I get started, I want you to know your role. And we'll talk about roles more in the future, but my intent as project manager and Kevin, our intent is to have you participate and really help us build that future of what our parks and recreation looks like. So could I get, oh, you're good, you're on that slide. I'm kind of following along on my computer as well here. So an overview of our system. So the city of Hillsboro is 109,000 people. We have 30 parks throughout the system, very different parks. We have community parks, neighborhood parks, little pocket parks, We have greenways, and then we have trail greenways like the Rock Creek Trail, if you've ever been on that. There's 1,500 acres of parks within the city. Now, something that's interesting is over 600 of that is preserved and not accessible by humans. So we don't have as big of a amount of acreage as you would think. And you're gonna get to see maps that show that and show how connected the parks are as we move through this process. We do have 18 miles of trails. We have a portion of this project is going to talk about trails and where we're going to build more trails for more connectivity to different parks within your community. And then we also have a professional baseball stadium. There's also a football/soccer stadium on that complex, and essentially a multi-sport complex. The Hillsboro Hops play there, and they are a feeder team for the Arizona Diamondbacks. We have several community centers. Hidden Creek is our newest community center. It's a large one. It's in 53rd. Well, it's now Hidden Creek Park. It used to be called 53rd Avenue Park. Very original name. Check it out. It's an amazing facility with lots of rooms to take classes and a gym and basketball courts. But we also have some smaller community centers, such as the Senior Community Center in Chute Park, and then also the Tyson Recreation Center at, I'm going to completely forget the name of the park. It's near the Intel campus, and Griffin Oaks Park. I have like lots of parks in my mind. We also have an aquatic center at Chute Park. That's where the senior center is, and then there's a library in Chute Park. It's our oldest park. It has the most history for the city of Hillsboro. And then we have a cultural arts venue, the Glenn and Viola Walters Cultural Arts Center, and there's plays, concerts that occur there, and a lot of, and actually a lot of ceramic courses. There's a whole ceramic section. Next slide, please, Payne. Okay, so what is the plan? I'm not going to read from this. Wait, hold on. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so overview. The reason we're doing this is in 2003, we created our Oregon state land use laws. I'm not going to get into details about this too much, but we have goals across Oregon. That's why we have a lot of protected farmland and we have such scenic areas. So one of those goals is parks and recreation. And we're, as agencies, supposed to plan for that. Just like we plan for housing and we plan for transportation, we're supposed to plan for parks and recreation. So in 2003, we had our first parks master plan. 2010, we had an update to that plan. And essentially, we've added a lot more people to our community. We've expanded the borders. We have new community plan areas such as South Hillsboro, Witch Hazel Village South, which is on the horizon, Jackson East. There's a lot of new areas that haven't really been planned for. We also have a changing demographic. Hillsboro is the most diverse city in Oregon, and we have changing demographics. And we have about 40,000 more people from that original 2010 plan. A lot of the items that were supposed to be implemented or were on the list for implementation have already occurred in our 2010 plan. And so we're definitely now in the need of updating. But we decided not to update. We decided to do something new. And I'm going to explain what that is. Next slide, please. So what is the system plan? In the old days, prior days, I like to call it the old days, we would have master plans, which really just talked about the built environment, just where are we building parks and what amenities are going to go into them. Well, parks and recreation departments are a collection of services. We don't just build parks and provide amenities. We have services such as Meals on Wheels. We do community services, senior services. We also have programs that are educational, such as language courses, ceramics. And then we also have recreational programs such as pickleball and leagues. We have a cricket pitch. and we're talking about doing cricket fields. I know I got the term wrong, but it's really a collection of lifestyle enhancing programs for our community. We also, our services include land management. We have to manage all that land and maintain it and make sure it's safe for our community. So a system plan really looks at all of those services and how they're working together, as well as looking at demographics. And what our approach is to look at where has there been disparities in investment. And I'll get into the different community groups that we're intentionally connecting to in a moment. This project also includes a 50-year vision, which is really that beacon for us to keep our eye on. Now, visions change as the community changes, but it really gives us something to focus on as a department. Also, a system plan is community-based. And what that means is we're going out to the community asking what the community wants and needs. Those are two very important different aspects that we're digging into. And then that is what's going to guide stewards like me to provide those amenities and those wants and needs, rather than having decision makers just make decisions without asking the community. So the biggest difference in a system plan is also it's about equity and not just listening to the dominant culture or the loudest voices. I'm going to get into that in a second. Can we go to the next slide, Ping, please? Okay, so I'll go over the timeline real quick, and then I want to get into the equity piece. So there's a lot of overlap here. I really simplified this for you. We have a timeline with about 100 lines and all kinds of different days. It's very complex, so I'm simplifying this a lot. Right now, we're in at number 1, August, which is really going through August through November. That's phase 1 of the project, and that's where we're doing phase 2 and 3 of the engagement. Phase 2 is the survey that you've hopefully had a chance to test. We already did phase 1 back in the summer. You may have seen a Parks and Rec tent up with marble exercises, asking you what kind of amenities or topics that you enjoy doing for recreation. We were at 13 different events, and we had 2,200 people participate. We've already done that. Now we're moving into phase 2, which is the survey. And then phase 3 will be a further dive into the details about our system and what we've heard throughout our engagement process. This is also where we're starting to look at the vision as we're talking to the community, starting to develop that 50-year vision, and then really looking at the existing system. We really need to know what we have first. And part of that is looking at the demographics. We are doing demographics differently. Typically, an agency will get census data blocks, and that's good enough. No, we have our planning team, and they'll come to you and explain this in a few meetings. We're really doing some very different analysis that's new. It's much more detailed around demographics of community groups like people of color, socioeconomic, single mothers, single income households, things like that we're digging into. October through December, and you'll see that it says we call you the CAC, Community Advisory Committee, lots of acronyms. You'll see that there's a meeting number. That's just generally how many meetings we'll have in those phases. We're looking at a total of 5. This is counting as one of those meetings, and that'll be covered later as well or reiterated. October through December, we're really looking at plan development. We're starting to take all the goals and policies that the city has. This is the most comprehensive approach to engagement that the city has ever done. We are covering more community groups than any other project that has occurred within the city. And in fact, This project has been designed by leadership as the foundation for how we do all future planning in the city of Hillsboro. And that, when I say future planning, equity-based planning, so that we're connecting to all of our community groups, not just the dominant culture. We're also going to have in that phase 2, I'm calling it phase 2 for right now, that initial list of projects and services that we're getting from the community. And then December through March, that's where the final plan will be developed. You'll be part of that. We're not bringing you finalized information. We're bringing you information as it's being developed to get your input. We want you to be really hands-on on this project and really helping us to move it forward in a positive manner. And then at the end, hopefully, you've met Kevin, or you'll meet Kevin. Kevin and I are the Hillsboro team. We want to be that, we're that initial connection, that initial relationship between the community and the rest of the city. And what we're hoping is that we're creating something that truly reflects our entire community, and that you'll become champions of this project. And hopefully maybe down the road, you'll be like, I want to be on the Parks and Rec Commission. I want to be on the council. And we start getting different representation from across our city. That's kind of my big dream. But this is really a way to build relationships. Next slide, please. And I've skipped around a little bit here. But again, equitable community engagement, we always haven't done a great job. Most agencies have done a terrible job connecting to marginalized communities. And that's what we're trying to do here, is take the first steps in rectifying those injustices, honestly. Why I've been put on the plan is, I think I told you earlier, I do things differently. It scares a lot of my employers, but that's why they put me on the plan. Is we are committed to doing something different in this project. This is the transition to a new way of long-range planning and hopefully social change starting with our community and building out from there. And as I said before, this project, we're taking a few steps in equity. We're not making giant leaps, because giant leaps can be shaky. We're taking a few solid steps and creating equity-based criteria for understanding what projects are prioritized. And this, again, is the foundation. Every project that the Hillsboro does after this project is adopted is going to build off of the work that we are doing here today. So we're setting the groundwork for a different future. And it may sound funny that Parks and Rec is doing it, but who else? Why not? We are what bring community together. So can we go on to the next slide, which will be the last slide, and you won't have to hear me talk much more. And then, so how will we do it? And so you met Deb, and I do want to add on a little bit. Deb has been on this project from the beginning. We started 2 years ago together designing what does an equity-based project system plan look like. And we spent, from the moment we contracted, it has all been about equity. So one of the examples is we've broken the contract apart. Typically, you put an agency will put out a $500,000, $600,000 request for proposals, and you'll get the large firm in that has always done it, and they move on and they do their template. We said no. We had requirements for minority-owned, women-owned, and veteran-owned businesses on the engagement piece. We also had requirements for representation from minority-owned, women-owned, and veteran-owned businesses in the planning technical piece, which that's the other group that you're not meeting tonight. And then it gave an opportunity for smaller firms to participate in a larger project and hopefully catapult their business into the next level of projects. So that's how we were thinking about equity from the very beginning. focusing on historically, currently marginalized communities as well as underserved communities. We are connecting to communities of color. We use Metro as the gold standard, and then we said, okay, we're going to make it, the Hillsboro plan is going to be the platinum standard. So we looked at communities of color, and then we said, what other communities have been marginalized or underserved? We added the LGBTQ community. We added communities with disabilities. We added the neurodiverse community. We have also included the houseless homeless community, and I'm missing one more community that always comes at the very, oh, and then people that are experiencing socioeconomic disparities, and making sure that they're included in this process. So we're really opening up the equitable approach. Now, one quick thing, yes, and youth and elders are also part of the, thank you, Jamie, for that. Youth and elders, because this is also going to be our kids. There's a lot of kids. I hear a lot of you have kids. This is going to be hopefully their place to live. So we want to think about 50 years, how they're living in this space. The other piece is we're doing an equity-based system analysis. Like I already talked about that, and our planners will come through, our planning team will come through and explain how they're doing that with GIS. Here's something interesting. Typically, you'll hear we have to have a statistically valid survey. Well, what we're doing, statistically valid surveys usually hit people of the dominant culture of a certain age that have landlines, and that it doesn't work for us because we're talking about demographic communities that aren't even counted in the federal census. So we're having to really tailor our approach to making sure that we're connecting to all these different communities that aren't necessarily represented by federal government or federal census data. And then the decision-making process, and this is where you all will be really important, is we're going to bring a framework where projects and services filter through a process. And if we're in an area of privilege, and there's a lot of people wanting a specific project in that area, and it doesn't pass muster, that project goes to the bottom of the list, and the project that meets the equity goals goes to the top. So it's a different way of thinking about using your dollars so that it's more equitable. And then this is the most important piece, I think, for our team, was the long-term relationship building, and then enhancing relationships we already have. And we're doing this. You will have my contact information. I will be available for you to contact at any time during this process with comments, concerns, ideas. And I am promising you full transparency. And that's how my team is starting this first step in building a relationship. So I'm going to pass it back over to Jamie. That's the overview of the project. We'll get more into details as we get into the next meetings. So thank you very much for listening.
I'm on mute. I was telling someone else they were on mute. Nizar, is your hand up? You want to say something? Guess not. Okay. Bear with me for just another few moments, and then we're going to ask you for some of your feedback. But I just wanted to build off the great background that Ryan just gave us. Thank you so much, Ryan. I said thank you to you, but you couldn't hear me. That was a really great foundation setting. Now you can go ahead and ping to the next one. We are so honored and pleased to have you be part of this group. We've asked you all specifically to be part of this group because of your backgrounds and your lived experiences. And we're honored and excited to have your input to provide advice to us, our project team, and to city leadership on how to best hear and reflect community needs and interests in the new park system plan. So we're going to meet formally 5 times, as Ryan said, between now through March of next year of 2024. This does count as meeting number 1, so there'll be 4 more after this. We will be meeting online to make it easier for everyone to come to the meetings, except for maybe we'll have a party eventually, but these meetings we're planning to hold online. As Ryan mentioned, you can reach out to Ryan anytime with any questions, and you can also reach out to me. Our contact information is in the slides that we'll send you, and we probably will send it to you some other ways as well, just to make sure by email or something that you have ways to reach out to us if you have any questions, comments, or concerns at any time. So over the course of our 5 meetings together, including today, we're going to ask you to make recommendations on the methods that we'll be using in the project. The research questions we'll be trying to address, the results that we gather of the community engagement, and how to appropriately and accurately incorporate community input. The last little piece down here on the bottom, the CAC charter, I'm going to call you CAC. I can't, CAC just reminds me of syrup of Epicac, and I can't do it. So I'm going to call you the CAC. You're going to receive, or already maybe did receive in an email, the charter for this community advisory committee. That's not a binding agreement, but it's a detailed description of what this group is and what it will do. It also includes the city's responsibilities to support your group written out. And so we just ask that, you know, at your leisure, you review that document and just let us know if you have any questions or concerns. We will also send this to you. It's basically just a summary of what we're telling you about today. So you can remember if we lose track, you know, you can make sure you understand the purpose of our group. Okay. And then next slide, Pink. So you've all been invited to this group, as I mentioned, because of your individual experiences and your opinions. And since we'll be meeting together a number of times, we'd like to spend a few moments co-creating an inclusive space where all your voices can be heard by setting up some group agreements. So I've proposed a few agreements I'd like to share with you, and we can see if there's anything missing you'd like to add, or if you have any problems or questions about what I'm proposing. All right, next slide, Ping. Other way, yeah. Okay, so we're hoping, you know, that people will be present at the meetings and actively participate. Go the other way again.
Sorry, it's very sensitive. Okay.
No, a couple more. There you go. You know, we really want to hear your voices, so we hope you'll be able to participate. And that could be, if you're not comfortable speaking aloud in the group, again, please put your comments or answers to things in the chat as well. That is a fine way to participate. We ask if folks are comfortable and you're able to have your video on for some of the more discussion portions, that would be great. Only if you're comfortable. Also, if people can keep themselves muted, especially if there's a lot of background noise, kids and cars and dogs and that kind of thing, until you're ready to say something, that would be great. Remember also that there are no right or wrong answers. We want to hear from all of you based on your lived experience and your perspective. And if you haven't said anything in a while, I might just try to make sure you have space to give a comment if you'd like to. And I also ask you to remember, if you're a person who really likes to talk a lot, to consider making sure that everyone has space to be heard. And also, no representatives. So we don't want to expect a person to speak on behalf of or represent their entire group. So those are the starter ones I have. Does anyone have any questions or things to add, or concerns about any of these? Seeing some thumbs. Okay, does this feel like something we can all all agree to, and we can start each meeting with these as well as a reminder. Thumb explosion.
Hey,
Okay.
Jamie, this is Kevin.
Hi, Kevin.
How you doing?
Good. How are
Can you explain a little bit the no representatives point there?
Yeah, so just, like I said that my people are from Northern Europe and I identify as white, so maybe asking me to comment on how white people feel about a certain topic, for example.
And I'll add on to that too, is so as I mentioned, I represent the LGBTQ community. I am not a representative of the entire LGBTQIA2S plus community. I have my lived experience, and that's all I can really comment on. And so I'm bringing that to, and I've brought that to this project as well. And does that help, Jamie?
Kevin.
That's great. Thank you.
Thanks for asking that
question.
Okay. Well, and we can amend these each time. We can review them again. And if there's anything we want to add as we go along that comes up, we just want to make sure that this is a place where we are all able to share and participate in the way that we want to. Okay, so I'm going to stop now. And we just wanted to open it up. We're going to take a break here in just a few minutes, but we wanted to open it up if any of you have any questions or thoughts about all of this so far.
If I may, I think it's really cool that you guys are actually considering the community's opinion. I feel very honored and privileged to be able to share as part of the community, and I think it's a really cool angle to take. Sorry. So I just want to say thank you. If you haven't heard it enough, I want to say thank you for listening and for giving us a chance as well, and for working together with all of us, as a goal. And that was basically it. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Marco. Nazar, you're on mute. I don't know if you're trying to say something.
It's okay now?
Yes, hi.
Hi, I'm sorry, I'm facing a problem with the connection. So I want to introduce myself. I'm Nizar Al-Amili, PhD in economic. I'm from Iraq, living in Hillsboro since 2014. I'm worked 33 years with Ministry of Labor and Social Affairs in Iraq. Then I work about 15 years with UNICEF and in Iraq also as a consultant. I like this country. I am here with my daughters and grandsons, and I hope I will be able to give something to this team. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Nazar. Welcome. We're happy to have you.
Thank you.
Okay. And Diane, were you trying to make a comment?
I just wanted to really echo what everyone else was saying, that this is just a really refreshing approach. Something that I think Brian said that he's not used to doing things like the normal way or kind of the way things have been done, where maybe just the dominant community voices get heard. Yeah, I didn't realize that we would have a voice. So this is really nice, like a voice that's heard by the people developing it. I mean, we might be able to talk to our neighbors or this or that, or, sometimes it just feels empowering, and it is an honor. And so, yeah, thank you guys for taking that different approach and acknowledging how diverse our community is. I didn't realize Hillsboro was I thought they said it was like the most diverse city in Oregon. But that makes sense. And yeah, I think it's awesome that we can all come together and work together and make this just a beautiful place for us to live and also for future generations to live.
Thank you so much, Diane. Agreed. All right, and I think I saw a hand and now I can't see it anymore. Whose hand was up for a second? Yasmin, was your hand up?
Yasmin's husband.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. Yasmin's husband.
Hi. I want to add something. I'm Ziad's wife, and actually, I want to ask you something, or I have like a complaint about the recreation for the in Hillsboro. It's too crowded, and is there any plan to make a new one or another one to divide the people? Because one day we went over there, we have to wait for family to get out from the pool, and then we can get in. So hopefully, because as you know, it's too cheap for the people, and it's very good. I don't have complaint from itself. But it's a lot of people for this area. And hopefully in the plan, you can make in the plan to add a new recreation for the aquatic, because the kids love it, and it's very like gym, sauna, everything. It has everything. And I just this complaint I have. I just want to know, is there anything in the plan to build another one to divide the people, like not to be all the time there, or no? Thank you.
I would love to answer that, Yasmin, is
Yep.
for you.
Thank you.
So that's why you're here. We don't have the plan yet. We're building it, and that's the kind of information we need. And you just hit on the difference between the old way of doing it and the new way. Is like, it would be a pool, could be in the old plan, but they would never talk about how, when, and how those services are provided. So that's, I love that, and that's why we're recording
because
this.
I tried to go to another one, and it's too expensive, like a couple $100 for the month. It's too expensive when you compare with the Hillsboro recreation. It's very nice, and they have a swimming lesson. They have everything, but the problem is too crowded. And one day when we went to the pool, we can't swim, we can't move, like we all in the pool. That's why I'm here.
Yes, and that's why, that's the kind of information we're here to get, because we'll go over some of the past engagement results in probably the next meeting. But some of the top 5 requests were, one of them was, I believe, and Kevin was the one that tabulated this, was aquatic center. Like, we need more swimming spaces. So this is exactly why you're here, is to help us to then now figure out, where do we build it, how big do we build it, what communities does it serve, and is it the cost and things like those are all the information. So I don't consider that a complaint as much as it's a directive.
I'm not complaining from the service. The service is perfect. They try the best. I like the popcorn over there. It's very tasty. But the problem is too crowded. Especially there is a specific time, like after 7. Oh my God, you can't walk over there. That's why we always go morning early, and sometimes it's cold. So thank you, I appreciate.
Well, and Yasmin and the whole group. I'm sorry, Jamie, I'm gonna add on just a little bit here. Is we're going to have our survey, which will really talk about some of these things, and we're going to have postcards. And one of the things that we would invite you to do is to take some of those postcards and hand them out to your friends that are experiencing similar or just within your community. Hand them out, have them give us that survey, because then that helps us better inform how we're going to invest those dollars. So I'm so glad you said that, because that's exactly what we're here for. Thank you. Okay, Jamie, I'm done with.
No, that's okay. Is there anything else people want to say? Just, I mean, we'll have lots of time to talk about these different things, but anything we've talked about so far, questions or comments before we take a break? All right, friends, we are going to get started again here. And for this part, go ahead. We have some questions for you. So this is going to be discussion now for the next while. So maybe start, we'd love to just talk with you and hear your feedback. So our first question for you would be, have you ever been a part of an advisory group like this before? You can also answer these in the chat if you want to. And if you have, what has worked when you work in a group and what doesn't work? And how would you like this group to, what would you like this group to know, I guess, as your advice for being successful as a group working together? Those are my questions. And we have like plenty of time to discuss these. So I'll just be quiet and hear what you think.
Excuse me. Okay, can you please copy and paste in the chat box? I'm not able to do it here.
Yeah, and Ping, you can stop sharing the screen if you want and copy and paste into the chat.
I'm trying to, but it won't let me cut and paste for some reason. So,
okay.
Yeah. I'm just gonna ask
back to
UK to do that.
Yes, can you go back to number 1?
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I can copy and paste the chat. So if you all want to put some information in the chat, I will copy and paste it as well.
Okay.
Okay, so this is new for several people we're seeing in the chat, at least a few people. Fan.
I'm not driving. I'm in a car. My husband is driving. We're on our way to a softball game. So I wanted to see if I could just answer verbally, because I don't think I'll be able to text. I've never been on a committee or a group like this before. But I think I like the ground rules that you laid down, that you can't really say anything wrong. It's just your opinion or your thoughts. And, I think about what I would like if I was speaking. I'd want other people to have an open mind and an open heart and open ears, just to at least hear my idea. So then I would, in return, obviously do the same for them. That's how I would, how I think the groups might work really well, is if people really hear other people out and give them a chance, and just so that people feel like super comfortable sharing their thoughts.
Yeah. Right. Great. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I not be a part of a group like this before that time. I hope I will learn from you and add something to this group. Thank you.
Thank you, Nazar. Anyone else want to? Oh, go ahead.
Hey, Ryan, can you copy and paste that question? I wasn't able to type it all the way through. It got closed out for number 1.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, let me see if I can do it.
Brian, this is Deb. I'll take care of it right now.
Okay, thanks, Deb.
All right. Anyone else want to add in? Is there anything that you think would work well with this group that you'd like to see as far as how we can work together?
I used to be in a focus group 4 or 5 years ago, but it's not all about. It was all about like testing the new product, not about society problem like that. But I really appreciate the way that you doing for community. Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you mind if I respond just to two? Nazar, I know that you're going to provide us with valuable information, so we're going to learn from you. Thank you all for being here, because we're actually going to learn from you. We finally get to ask the community what you really, really want and how you really feel, and in a safer space than maybe we've had before. So I look forward to learning from you, all of you.
Okay. Well, and you can keep adding thoughts as they come up in the chat, folks. We will be saving that as well, but maybe we can move on to question number 2. Ping, if you can show that quickly on the screen, that'd be great.
Okay.
And that question number 2 is, what is your advice as we work to engage you and your community or the community you serve in this planning process? We've got some ideas, but we'd love to hear from you about the best ways to engage, you, your family, and your community.
Jamie?
Yeah.
Before y'all answered, can we just give a quick overview? Our survey coming out, I just want to talk about the survey real quick. We have a survey, it will be in 7 languages. We weren't able to do, we were going to try to do 10, but we were only able to do 7. We're doing English, obviously English, Hindi, Arabic,
Russian, Vietnamese, Chinese, and Vietnamese.
So that's one way that we're reaching out to, trying to reach out to more community groups. So building off of that would be great.
Great. So you're gonna send the survey by email?
I shared the survey draft with all of you. So check your email and then give us some feedback by this Saturday. And then Jamie will finalize the survey. And once we have all the survey finalized and translated into 6 languages, we will share it with you again. And we're hoping that you will take the survey and also help us to promote the survey.
Because I'm opening from the phone and I can't make a survey.
Oh yeah, not today.
Okay, thank you.
And the survey will be going live September 1st. So you'll be able to look at it, provide any feedback, and then we're doing the translation. So the survey will go live on our project page, which you'll get information on the project page on September 1st. That's when it will be up for the whole community to take. You guys get to test it. Is that right, Ping?
So basically, I shared a draft survey with all the participants. And so what I'm asking is that please take a look. You don't need to take the survey because it's not an actual survey. It's just for you to see. And then by end of this Saturday, let me know if you have any comments, input, or you think that the survey might be too hard to understand, or you think, we covered everything. Whatever ideas you have or opinion you have, email back to me. But do not take the survey, okay? Because it's not the actual survey here. So on September 1st, when we finally launch the survey, our office will share the actual link with all of you. And by then we'll say, hey, please take the survey and also ask friends, people that you know that or work in Hillsboro or live in Hillsboro to take the survey. All right?
Yeah, to add on to that, this is Jamie. I am the guru behind the survey, or the person behind the survey, working the buttons and writing the questions. You are welcome to press buttons and play with the survey. You can even take it if you want, but I will be erasing all of those answers before we actually start. So you can pretend to check whatever you want. and just make sure everything works properly. And then right before we start on September 1, I'll kind of wipe all of those answers. And then we would love for you to take it for real at that point as yourself. We're trying really hard to keep it to about 10 minutes. And so that's something you could look for as you take the survey, just kind of trying to see if it fits within that window. We think that it does, but we'd love the more people we can have test it before we go live, the better, because we're hoping for a couple thousand people to take the survey. And so we really want it to be good before we get it out there. So anything that seems wrong or confusing to you, take it. If you speak a language that's offered on there other than English, please consider looking at it in that language to make sure that that we've got the translations right. There will be a little drop down for languages. So the link is the same for all languages, but you'll be able to, whatever language your browser is in on the internet, it will automatically go into that language. And there's a drop down for you to choose on the top for the different language. And so the languages actually we won't have in until a little bit, probably a couple of weeks from now, besides English. So the link that you have to test now is in English. And if you could give us your feedback, by this weekend, that would be great on the English version rather. So that's one way we're connecting with the community. We're also doing in specific discussion groups like these with the different community groups as well. Many of them, maybe 14 different communities. Is that right, Ryan? To ask for their input, 2 different times for each community. There's a couple hands. I don't want to just keep talking. Let me.
Diane's next.
Okay.
Sorry, I did not realize I had my hand up.
Oh,
sorry, I'll put it down.
Diane,
no problem.
not next. Nazar.
Do you mean to have your hand up, Nazar?
Nope.
Yes. I have a question, please.
Yeah.
Is there any relation between our project and the other city projects?
Is there a relation between them?
Yeah.
No, but okay, sorry, this is going to be a little complicated. No, there isn't. This is Parks and Recreation focused, but all of the data that we're creating is being funneled into the overall city strategic plan, and the information that we are getting from our engagement is actually going to be used by other departments. So it's kind of, we're kind of helping other departments, and we're kind of leading the way on how we do engagement. And that information, so there's going to be some demographic information that other departments haven't ever paid attention to, or other projects, and that'll start to make those projects follow that. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, we're really focusing on Parks and Recreation, and Parks and Recreation really is is where our community gathers. Like, it's parks, plazas, events. I mean, I forgot to mention events. Like, we are kind of the community wing of the city government. And all of the data that we're collecting is actually informing a lot of other decisions that will be being made for leadership, which I'm excited about, because we're taking community approach and then we're putting it into, transportation, boring transportation stuff, and like city leadership decisions. So we are going to be what's the word I'm looking for, Jamie? Influencing other processes. It's just not directly. And then I see Tina has her hand up.
Yes, I do. Sorry, I was double muted. My question is, because I did take a look of the survey this evening, and not sure if this cover on that, but I think the ages should be a good section that be included on the survey, because different ages I will intend to tour different interesting going to the park, like little kids, they will more toward the playgrounds where the elder will go toward the path and go around the park and stuff. So I think the ages should be good to be included as well.
Okay, thank you. So include a question about age is what you're recommending?
Yes. So
Okay.
because we want to know who are we targeting or who taking the survey, so then we know more about the needs regarding to the age.
Exactly. Okay.
Thank you.
And yes, if people want to go ahead and if anyone has had a chance to look at the survey and you'd like to give some feedback on that now, that would be great. And if not, if you would take a look in your email and take a look at it, and you can email Ping, or probably Ping would be the best, and then she'll send it to me over the weekend. That'd be great. But if anyone else has looked at it and wants to give any comments now, we're open.
Yes. I'm collecting it from both the liaisons and the CAC participants, and we should be able to put everything together and give it to you this Sunday.
Okay. All right. Anyone else want to chime in that we haven't heard from yet?
Question 3.
Yeah. So sort of building. Well, that's about the survey, right? So
question 4, maybe.
Yeah. So our last question for you is really, we're trying to get this online survey out the door is the first thing we're doing, and we're going to start it on September 1 and run it through September. So we're closing it on October 1. What would be the best way to encourage your community to take this survey, do you think? And that could be anything, like where should we email it to, or what radio station should we put it on, or all kinds of ideas. We'd love to hear where you get your information and you think would be a good place to promote the survey.
Workplace.
If I may, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, in Beaverton, I know it's not Hillsboro, but there may in Hillsboro there's like places, but in Beaverton, my thought was that there is a lot of food pods, like over in what's it called, a what? Yeah. Well, there's food carts that have a bunch of different food of different nationalities and everything, and you could easily put flyers there because so many people go there. There's the Beaverton night market. There's Beaverton Central is where I was thinking about, where they have all the different food pods. Portland is known for one of the biggest cities with most food pods, in per capita in the US. And like food brings people together. Food brings everybody together, and so I feel like that potentially could be a place where you could easily make either a flyer or make some sort of event that ties in with the food and easily spread the word to many people.
Yeah, thank you. That's a great idea. There's one over by City Hall in Beaverton. Is that the one? It's like there's a huge one.
Yeah, the one I was thinking about is over on by Milliken and Jenkins. I feel like it's close to Mac Station.
Okay.
It's right off of Mac Station, and they have the night market there. Yeah. So, I mean, that's just one example, but like I know in Hillsboro, for example, we went to a fair that was, I forget what it was called, but they had a bunch of children's activities near the downtown city hall and the courthouse down there, and it was a great big festival with a bunch of the tree lighting. Was it the tree lighting?
I don't know.
Yeah, okay, so that was it. And so that sort of thing where like a bunch of people come together over just like a get together, and then there's food and there's that. It just kind of feels like a family get together, like a big old family get together. So
Yeah.
I feel like that sort of thing may be a good place to perhaps spread the word. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. All right. I don't know if I'm talking to Yasmin or to Zayed, but
Yeah, just me. uh, you know, I maybe with the Hillsboro School District, you can communicate, and they send it like a flyer with the kids when they came back. You can also, because the school, it's almost back to school, so they can send it by via email or by flyer with the kids. They can make it like a survey. It's a good, it's a good opportunity.
That's great.
Mhm.
Thank you.
And they
All
see
right.
almost said health fairs. We do have tablets. So that would be great too. Health fairs, and we do have a few tablets that people can take them that we're going to be bringing around. So thank you for that.
Yeah, and I think to your point, Alma, with the stipends, I think what we're planning to do is raffle off several large gift cards. I can't remember what we settled on, Ryan.
It's 100.
$100, like 5 different $100 gift cards, so people can enter a raffle. We don't have enough money to pay all 2,000 people to take the survey, but at least can do a raffle for that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. But I think a lot of people are responding when they see these kind of activities.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, so like at events. Mm-hmm. Okay. What else do people think? Is there like, do you think we're planning to use a QR code and put it on like little business cards or little, is a QR code good? Does everyone know how to use
Yes, I think so.
Okay, I've seen a couple yeses about the QR codes. Okay.
Hi, it's Michael. I have a question. Is dog park part of the park planning or management? So I think probably some of the dog owners might want to give some feedbacks about how the dog park should be planned. So I guess maybe that would be good. Just put the flyers or whatever near the the put back station or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could I ask a little side question for y'all? We have almost said about a flyer with a QR code in community centers. Yeah, the community centers as well. And then also maybe part of another raffle is maybe a community center pass or a couple community center passes. Because I know the community centers, there is a fee to go to it. So maybe I could get our director to give us a few community center passes as part of the raffle too. Cool. Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Deb, for that idea. Deb texted me that idea, so.
You're welcome.
This is great.
All right. Any other things about the survey? Who have we not heard from yet? If you haven't had a chance to speak, maybe if you have any ideas, you can put them in the chat or you can speak up. Krishna, yes. You're on mute.
Like when people have their clipboards and ask for a survey in a public place, I never take it. So that's something I'm not crazy about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
But do you ever take surveys, and what would make you feel more comfortable doing?
I think emails and you give it to a friend or I don't know. I can't think of anything. But this is something I actually, when I see people like that, I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna. I'm going to that place for a specific reason, and I'm not gonna stop and do the survey. That's my thought. So.
And it looks like, Krishna, it looks like Lisa and Diane mentioned Facebook or social media, and we do have accounts like that we could post on. And it would be great that we could have it as a share. so it can be shared with other community. Like, so if you want to share it with your friends,
That's a great idea.
and maybe I call it Insta Twittergram because I'm old, but Instagram. And then oh yes, and signs at parks with QR codes, text message reference, refer by friends. That would be great too.
Yeah, great. We can text the link to you all as a group, and then if you're able to telephone that to other people by text, that would be awesome. Yeah, that's a great idea. And I like the idea too, we hadn't really talked about, but it'd be easy to do flyers with the QR code that are like laminated and put up at public places.
At all the parks, we can do that, and we can do some pretty solid. You could probably do it at a lot of other city facilities and probably the schools, and some other agencies. So thank you for that. Coffee shops are great. Yes, thank you. I want to ask a couple of you, just throw an idea out there. How do you think we could get some flyers in at Intel? Since it's the major employer or some of the major employers, do you think we could do that? Do you think we have anybody that could do it? Okay. Thank you, Krishna.
Okay.
Marco.
Thank you. My wife just brought up a really perhaps different or a different way of thinking about it. How long is the survey? How involved is it? Is it something that perhaps you could complete as you're passing by, perhaps some sort of event, or is it something that you're expected to take home and perhaps sit down with for a few minutes? Perhaps, the ease of the survey or the involvement, or I don't know, this just, I thought that was really cool. If it's something that you can complete, in a few minutes, or what is it? If it's something that you can just fill out real quick in some sort of event, or is this something that, for the masses, is what we're thinking?
Yeah, it's supposed to be about 10 minutes. It takes about 10. It actually took me about 5 minutes, but I do this for a living. So, but that's a good idea. I think we were going to have paper versions as part of it, that the community engagement liaisons would take out, but we'll look into that as a possibility. I like that though. It is supposed to be really easy to do on mobile device. Like you take a picture and you can just boop, 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 and it takes about 10 minutes. It's not like open, not everything's open-ended, so you don't have to spend time typing for hours. There's a lot of multiple choice and then some added others. If you guys check it out on the email, you'll see kind of how it's structured, but I like that.
Yeah, and I would really love to hear from you all if you take it as a test in the next few days and time yourself to let us know how long it's taking you. We really do want it to be pretty easy for folks, but that's why we offer the incentive is to sort of ask someone to take a little bit more, and also the incentive of like you are contributing to the future of Hillsboro's parks and the vision for the next 50 years, and we really want to include community voice. We're hoping that people will want to take a minute, but I know, Krishna, exactly. I avoid everyone who's got a survey outside a store or something. And I do that for a living, but it's really, some people are slower moving and some people are more, we've got tasks to accomplish. So that can be hard, but, and Ryan also has some ideas to do, to be at different events here and there throughout the city, I think, and possibly can just ask a couple of the questions on the survey for a special event, if that ends up being helpful.
We'll be at the M&M Marketplace on a day or two. That's and I think Marco, you have your hand raised. Did you want to go?
Oh, I am sorry.
Well,
Here
that's
we
okay.
go. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that it stayed raised. I apologize.
That's okay.
No worries. Just want to make sure we're hearing you if you've got more to say.
This I just want to thank you all. The list I have, you've just blown it out of the water. I really appreciate it because I've been struggling to figure out where to go, and you've just given me a mass amount of lists, and I'm really excited to get started on making those posters. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Sorry, it's Michael again. I just have a thought when I look at the like Home Depot recipe, receipt. It's always saying like, enter this, fill up the survey, you have the chance to win whatever, but you know, the chance might be slim. But I think that might be another motivation that not every attendee will get the prize, but just maybe a portion of them. Just somehow, I don't know if that would just complicate things, but maybe a portion of them to get picked for maybe $25. So it won't be super huge budget, but it's another motivation.
I like that. Thank you.
Programming in.
Yeah, I just
Marco, we can hear you whispering a bunch.
I am sorry.
That's okay. Thank you. I like Diane's comment too to get barley. Is barley the what are those called? Mascot at the hops?
Yeah.
Is that what it is? That would be fun.
It's hoppy, I think. Is it hoppy? Okay, never mind. I'm not gonna say.
I like, maybe it's hoppy and barley. That would make sense. Okay, well, this is a great start, y'all. And please do, if you haven't had a chance to look, and we know that your comments and your eyes and your checking out the survey will make it better. And you know, we're launching it to a lot of people, so we really could really use your help, just making sure that there's nothing broken or wrong with it. We've tested it, but it's hard from the inside sometimes. So if you could do that, if you haven't already, over the weekend, and just let Ping know if there's anything broken, missing, wrong, that kind of thing, and maybe how long it takes you to do the survey. That would be super helpful.
So we want to be really, we value your time, and I think we're going to go on to the next steps, which is the next piece. Is that okay, Jamie, if we move to that?
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Perfect timing.
Ping, do you mind pulling that up real quick for us?
Okay, back to sharing. Can you guys see it?
Not yet.
Uh-oh.
If not, I can read it, but I was really proud of my slides I put together.
Yeah, you did a great job.
I think I got out of the slide thing, so I need to come back. Or is it, where are you? Oh, see that now. Okay, I'm just gonna do this. Yeah. Okay, so next up.
Yep, and then slideshow button. Unless y'all can see that. There we go. Yes, perfect. All right, thank you. So the next steps, I just need to shut this off here. Okay, so the next steps, we're like we were talking about earlier, we had 5 meetings. This one counts as one of those 5s. We're looking to have you at 4 additional meetings during important milestones in the process. Again, I wanted to reiterate that it's not, my intent is not to bring you a final product. It's to bring you before we have a final product, because I think that's a very important thing that as government we goof up. So we'll be bringing you stuff as it's about to be developed and get your input like we just got today. A lot of valuable input. I want to highlight some important dates. We're going to send out a doodle poll to all of you to see when you're available. Our next meeting would be the week of September 11th through the 14th. If Thursdays I've noticed seem to, why are you shaking your head now?
Not for me. Not that day.
No, you're not. You're the 5th. You're not available the 15th.
Also the 14th.
Oh, well, you said the 15th. Okay, so we'll work on that. So we'll send out a doodle poll. It'll be that right around that time in September, and then also we want to lock in the October date, which will be around the 16th to 20th. We'll get that doodle poll out to you within this next week, and make sure that we can find a time that works for everybody. If we're gonna try to stick to evenings, because I'm sure y'all, I know your evenings are valuable, but I'm sure y'all have a lot of stuff going on during the day. We will. So my promise to you all is that we will provide you with an agenda, an overview prior to the meetings, and any really pertinent materials. Is there anything else you would like from us before a meeting? And if you wanted to just like raise your hand real quick, I am going to provide at the next meeting, I will provide you with my personal cell phone. Right now you have some contact information to email me, and my office number. I do get voicemail. I work from home a lot. But at the next meeting, I will make sure that you all will have my personal cell phone if you have questions or any thoughts. I just ask you not to give it out. Okay, Diane. You're on mute though. Wait, I think I just heard you.
No, you're on mute right now. Try pressing it again.
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yay. I just wondered if we would have access to tonight's recording.
Yeah, we're gonna,
or at least the slides. Okay.
Yeah, so you're gonna get the slides. You'll get the charter. Again, I'll put together a package. We've got to figure out, because this is our first time using Google, we've got to figure out the recording. Like I said before, we're trying to be fully transparent. We may reminders of the meeting were very helpful. Okay, just a second here. We may actually post it on the project page once we get that up going. Again, I thank you for your vulnerability, and also us being able to be transparent. So I would like to have, if anybody disagrees with this, just let me know. You don't have to do it in front of the group. If it makes you uncomfortable, just let me know. But we would potentially like to post it on, since this is a public meeting, on the web, the project page, once I get it up and running. All right. If you have any concerns with that, email me. We can talk about it, and maybe find some way around it. But yeah, does that answer your long way of answering your question? Sorry.
Yes, I just wanted to have access to review it on a larger screen, like maybe on my computer versus on my cell phone.
Yeah, I'll be this big.
Yeah,
Awesome.
we'll be sending you the presentation from tonight for sure by email.
Excellent. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Is there anybody else with some questions? Okay, can I get the last slide, Payne?
Okay.
All right. Again, thank you. We've been putting this together for a little over 2 years now. We for the Hillsboro team and our consulting team, we truly appreciate your involvement and look forward to building more of a relationship with you all. You can contact Jamie or me. In the future, I will be more of a contact, and you'll be able to, like I said, I will give you my cell phone as long as you promise not to put it on the web. I already get enough calls, but thank you, and we'll have that doodle poll out. Thank you, Diane, and we'll get you a package of everything that's happened today, and we'll figure out that recording for you all. You get 3 minutes of your life back.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. It was so good to meet you, and we look forward to seeing you the next time.
Thank you so much.
And also, I will share these slides with the participants after the meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Have a good night, everyone.
Stay safe.
Thank you.
Have a fabulous
Ashley.
weekend. Bye-bye.
You
You
too.
want to stay
Bye.
on for a second, Ryan?
Yeah, I'll stand.
AK, can you make sure that you got everybody's name?
We did. Thank you, Nazar. It was nice meeting you.
AK,
Yes, I'm here.
before
I got
this, can you
I
make
got a
sure?
list.
Yeah,
Yes,
got a list
I
of people that kind of, yeah. So like I said, we have 18 people sign up, but we have like maybe 13 or 14 people show up.
That's a lot of people. That's okay.
Yeah. And I got all the, I copied and pasted all the answers into a Word doc.
Yeah, I got them all too.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and I typed up verbatim what anyone said about their comments or questions. So,
Well, you type fast.
I'm gonna stop the recording now, okay?
Okay.
yes.